All right, everybody, welcome back to day 10 of the Social 30. We're going to take a quick look at our recurring thoughts for today. Thought number one is a really useful tool on Twitter. It's Twitter lists. And once you start following a lot of people on Twitter, your home feed becomes very overwhelming if you go to it to try to consume information. So lists serve two purposes. The first purpose is it helps you compartmentalize the content that you want to consume. So instead of going to your home feed, you can go to a list of local news anchors, or a list of all the bands you follow, or a list of your healthy living influencers. And you can just get information from those sources in one location and then hop off and not get bogged down or caught up in stuff you're not interested in knowing about at that time. The other thing about lists, though, is that you may or may not realize that you have been put on other people's lists, and this is a great way to connect with new people. Okay, so let's hop over to Twitter, and we're here at the home profile of the Healthy Living Soundboard. So lists is one of your buttons at the top. So I don't use this particular handle to consume content. So I have only made lists as a test to show people how to do it, because I don't necessarily need to consume a bunch of different content through this handle. But to do it, you create a new list here and you name it whatever you want. You can make it public or private. A public list, anybody on Twitter can subscribe to. A private list is just for yourself. It's sometimes a good idea to make a public list, go follow a bunch of health influencers, and then share that list with your team, and everybody can subscribe to it and be kind of in the know at the same time about things. So notice that it says subscribed to, all right? And so these are the lists that I've created and that I'm subscribed to. Now, if you want to add someone to a particular list, let's just hop over here to our followers. If you find someone you want to follow, or somebody you were already following and would like to put them in a list, you can click on these dots here, and one of your choices is add or remove from lists. So when you do that, it'll bring it up, and you can just drop it in, and it's taken care of. Now, the other interesting thing about lists is figuring out who has added you to a list. So click on Member Of, and you will see all of the lists that you have been added to. And you may not realize that this has even happened, because these people don't have to follow you to do this. But I've been put on a list of healthy recipes by this person that has 4,500 other people in it. Drink More Water by Bronte Water Coolers. People who love whole food, because food wouldn't fit. Healthy list, healthy living, top culinary, healthy living friends. The point is that these people may or may not follow you, but they're interested enough in what you have to say to add you to a specific list so that they can visit you and these other accounts to intentionally glean certain kinds of information. All right, so the first thing that you can do, this does not function like a Facebook group. Okay, this is not the same thing where if you were to tweet something that all of these people would be seeing it, because the other people who've been put in the list, you don't have to ask permission to do this, so they don't necessarily know that it's happened to them either. But at the same time, they have been put in these lists because they talk the talk. All right, so when you can click on the list, and it's going to take you to everything that everybody who's on the list has published. And you can either scroll through here and see if there are people here that you would like to follow and interact with, or you can just click on members here and see who it is and get a little sense of who they are. And you can easily follow a lot of people pretty quickly. And you know that they're all here because of their at least they've mentioned something to do with this topic in the past, and probably on a frequent basis, and that's why they've been put into this list. So if you get added to a list, take it as a compliment, and then go find who else is in there that you can interact with. So that's the thought on the list. Now, one last little note. If you don't have the lists button, it's possible. I still haven't quite figured out why it doesn't show up sometimes. But what you can do is type this. Type twitter.com/ and whatever your handle name is, /memberships. And it will override the fact that you don't have a button. And it'll bring you to all of your lists that you're a member of. So twitter.com/ whatever your Twitter handle is /memberships. And that will get you there. The other thought is customer retention, using content as customer retention. So the soundboard providing content for you, and then you using it on a one-to-one basis to show people that you're thinking about them. So when you get to know your customers, are they gluten-free? Are they marathon runners? Are they moms with little kids? Have they survived some major disease event in their lives? Those are the kinds of things, broad topics that you want to know about people, and then let them know you're thinking about them. And so if you do have, let's go to the soundboard. If you do have somebody in your customer base who is gluten-free, search for that topic. Gluten and dairy-free buttermilk waffles. All right, so you can hit this. Now keep in mind, I'm on the desktop at the moment, so the texting button is not going to show up. But you have a couple of options to get it to somebody directly. You can send it to them via Facebook Messenger. Say, hey, saw this, was thinking about you. Hope these are good. You can send it, if you use this Facebook Groups button, when the widget pops up, you can actually share it on a friend's timeline. So you can share it directly and post it to them, which is a public way to, say that, versus Facebook Messenger, of course, is a private. Or you can email it to them. Texting is also a good option. It only works on mobile, but we know that people open their text messages. People read their text messages. And one great thing that the iPhone does in particular is it'll turn the article into a nice looking link so that it's very visually appealing. And so you can, if you've got 30 customers, 25 customers, commit to texting or emailing or messaging every customer one piece of content a month that's related to something that they've got going on in their lives. And that way that, they know you're thinking about them outside of the fact that they're buying product from you. It's a really great way to think about retention. Content as a retention tool. All right. See ya on the next day.